Hey guys, good morning. Dave DeBerardinis here. As we're building out New Rules for Wealth, this training platform to help you develop and build a massive team in this industry, I want to share a couple of points with you. And this may be the most important thing that for you to understand to actually build your team. So here we go. Number one, when you enroll somebody, right? And I'm drawing this out, so if you're hearing this on a podcast, I've got a picture here. A pretty bad picture of your new prospect. Now, your new prospect, if they just signed up, right? They're the most excited they're going to be in the business, and they're the most scared. Now, we know after being in this industry for a while that eventually they're going to make it all the way across the page here, and they're going to be over here with all this knowledge. There's another picture, and all this knowledge, they're going to know how to present the product. They're going to know the comp plan. They're going to know how to do every little nuance in the business, and they're going to be happy, and they're going to be making checks, right? Here's the one thing that people do that just destroys their team. They have somebody brand new who comes in, and they just start dumping on them all this information. Oh, here's the comp plan. And they can explain that to them, the compensation plan. Here's all the data sheets on the products. Here's how we approach people, right? And you feel like, number one, you got to teach them all these things, which is one of the reasons most of you don't teach, right? Because there just seems like there's so much to learn. Now, eventually, they're going to have it way over here, right? They're going to get it over here once they've been in it for a while. So I'm going to call this the one thing. It's sort of like, do you remember the movie? It was called City Slickers. It had Billy Crystal, Jack Palance. Anyway, Billy Crystal and three of his buddies go off for a week or something, and they're going to herd or move this herd of cattle across a couple states, and it was a getaway, right? And Billy got separated for a night, and he had to spend it with the big bad cowboy, which was played by Jack Palance, and his name was Curly. And they were having a talk one night, and Billy said, "Boy, you really seem to have it figured out, Curly. You have life figured out." And Curly said, "It's you city slickers. You run around all wound up, doing, but it only comes down to this." And he held up one finger. And the one thing, and Billy Crystal goes, "What's that?" He goes, "It's the one thing." And guys, I'm going to share with you the one thing in this business, in this industry, that will make all the difference in your training and your team learning, staying with you and growing, no matter what you're teaching. Okay? Here it is. Here's the one thing that'll make the difference. When you go to instruct somebody, we'll put big number one up here, I want you to teach them one actionable thing. That's it. So my story. When we got back into this industry 7 years ago, after I was still working 5 jobs at this day, we decided the way to grow the team, at least how all the leaders were doing it, people that were not just called leaders, but actually had a team, they were doing trainings. And so I said, let's do a training, and I don't know what to train on. I'm going to train on the compensation plan. I didn't understand the compensation plan. It seemed so confusing, right? But I knew for a lot of people like me, it was a driver for why they got into the business, because they said they wanted to make $3,000, $5,000, or whatever it was a month. So they needed to understand how they could do that, right? Using this particular comp plan or whatever compensation plan you have. So I set up a phone call, a conference call with a free conference service, and said, let's go. I'm going to do our first training. And we had 5 people show up, and again, 2 of them were Joy and I, so we had 3 people show up, and I taught them the first part of the compensation plan, just that one thing, and it happened to be on what's called Fast Start, right? Now, maybe your compensation plan has this or not, but all Fast Start said was everybody you enroll, you make 20, or maybe it was 25%, I don't know what your comp plan is, of whatever the volume was from their first order, right? And it took me 10 minutes to explain that, and I just did it in 30 seconds, so you get better at it, right? But I taught one actionable thing that they could walk away, feel like they were successful, and they understood something. Now they're going to eventually make it from I'm brand new, I'm excited, I'm scared, all the way across the page here to I've got all the information I need. But if you just teach them one thing, and you teach them one thing every day for 30 days, how close are they to here? To where they actually know what to do in all the different pieces, right? Most companies just send you out and say, hey, make your list. Call your family and friends. And for many of us who've done a couple businesses or more, it's like the last people you want to call, right? Because it's like, I've got another opportunity kind of a thing. And the reason you keep having to call these people is because you never develop the team. You never set up the training piece. And usually it's because you've given that authority over to somebody else like the company. And many companies have their training pages, but they don't get it. It's different between a company saying, this is the training, or you actually being responsible for your downline saying, I'm going to train you. That's what draws people to you. That's why they stay with you. Okay? So to move somebody from wherever they are to the next level, teach them one thing, one actionable thing that they can take action on and go out and get it done. Here's another quick example. Let's say it's a following up. I teach one thing. You call them on the phone, they had a sample, or maybe they saw a video, doesn't matter. Hey John, it's Dave. How'd you like what you saw? Or did the sample excite you the way it did me? That's it. And they can say, yeah, it's pretty cool. And then you can, okay, let's get you going. Or they can say, I wasn't really fired up about it. Awesome. It doesn't matter. But teach them one thing. But most people will try to teach them, well, if they say this, say this. Or if they're an engineer type, you want to say this. It's not that stinking complicated. So teach them one thing that they can act on, okay? And they may have to call 20 people to get 1, 2, 3, or 4 involved. Welcome to my world. That's what it took for us. Not everybody says yes. So it kind of doesn't matter what you say, but teaching people a simple, actionable step every day, just one, that's not complicated, that they can get, you're going to see results in your business. So we are fired up about finishing our platform here to train you on exactly what and how to train. I gave you a great big insight here this morning on the one thing. You're going to end up teaching one thing on a training call. And I've had so many people that come on my calls and they want to teach this whole book of things. And frankly, I get confused. I want to teach one thing, and I want you guys to accept that approach, and you're going to see success in your business. As we further build this platform, and we'll be out in just a couple of weeks at the outside case, you're going to see how this is going to be able to help you on a day-to-day basis actually create the team, so you don't have to turn around and call your family and friends back again and again and again, because you're going to know the secret of how to get somebody to make money in this industry, and it's through your training. So this is Dave DeBerardinis with New Rules for Wealth. Excited about coming out with our new platform. Have an awesome rest of your day. You absolutely deserve it. Bye for now.